Thank you, Rachel, Jasmine, Lauren, and Tiana. You've already got your video cameras on. Everybody else, you know, I'd love them on. I love to see smiling faces. Rachel's having a good day by the looks of things. She's beaming. Bailey, Lisa, great to see you. Levi, looking super slick. Kim, thank you for putting your camera on. Adrian's there as well. Welcome. So the others, if you're feeling brave, we would love to see your faces, much better than just looking at your name. Welcome to Scripts and Dialogue session 4. So we're getting into some meatier content today. Hey Shayla, nice to see you there today. So for those of you who've joined in on our earlier sessions, we've been building from really basic, getting our heads right, understanding why we're making phone calls and how to approach them the right way in week 1 with Kelly Tatlow. From there, we've moved on to doing the basic geodata script, how to get people to engage with you so that you can get their information and put it into your database. Last time we talked about doing open inspection callbacks really effectively so that we can populate our vendor reports. And so today is all about the second part of open inspection callbacks, which is all about leveraging the opportunities that we can. So it's important that we split these training sessions up because the approach is very different. The outcome that we're looking from each session is very different. And as I said, today is all about trying to see what opportunities we can uncover on these phone calls and how we can bring those people into our business. It's something like 50% of people who come through open homes either are homeowners in your core market or they will be. So if they're not today, they will be within the next 6 to 12 months. So open homes is a really verdant hunting ground for finding future business opportunities. Most of you know that. So today is just about giving you some confidence, giving you some tools to make sure that you get as much off those calls as you can. Kate, thank you for putting your camera on. Great to see you today. Everyone else who's still got their cameras off, we would love to see your faces. Thanks so much for joining us. So we're going to jump straight in. As always, any questions, just jump off mute, put your hand up, type it in the chat box. We'll make sure that we handle that. So open inspection callbacks, volume 2. Just recapping, obviously, your phone calls are only going to be as good as the data that you capture at the open homes. So we did show this slide last time, just making sure you're getting as much information as you can from the open home. If you've got a quiet open inspection, just try and talk to the person for as long as you can and get as much, try and get residential address if you can whilst you're at the open home. Sorry, Liana, you have a sick child. Fair enough, I understand. So yeah, it all starts with capturing great data at the beginning. Also, what we talked about last time was, you know, just remember the importance of when you make your open inspection callbacks, how and when are you doing them, how many attempts, documenting all of your feedback in the vendor report, and the 10-day and the sold call are really important. Just recapping these main key points that we spoke about last time. So the 3 arenas that we have available to us for an open inspection callback, the top one's got a cross through it because we've already dealt with that. So we've dealt with our vendor reporting part of the call. Michael, welcome, great to see you. So today we're talking about servicing the buyer and leveraging opportunities. Fiona, great to see you there. Thanks for putting your camera on. So the reason that I've got this slide set in this order is because it is actually this order that you need to follow with these phone calls. You have to first of all start by finding out if the person on the other end of the call wants to buy the house first, right? That's job number 1. That's making sure that your vendor who has engaged you to sell their home is getting looked after, okay? I partly always think when I'm doing open inspection callbacks, there's a part of me that is paranoid. Like, what if this was the vendor's sister or the auntie or the neighbor down the road? You've got to make sure that you are almost being spied on. So job number 1, do you want to buy the house? Let me help you if you want to buy the house. Give me lots of feedback. I want to get that from my vendor. We took care of that last week. The second thing that you have to do is you have to service the buyer. If you try to go from do you want to buy the house to leveraging opportunities, you'll get shut down. You'll get walls up. You'll get people giving you blockage. They'll give you nothing, which is what sometimes people can do with their eagerness to move forward through their career and to get all the possible opportunities that they can to hit their KPIs, to get listings. Sometimes we try and rush ahead. So it's really, really important that you look after the buyer second. So looking after the buyer is as simple as just finding out what they're looking for. So for most of you, this will come very naturally. The typical open inspection callback, do you want to buy the home? Yes, no, maybe. We've done all the vendor report stuff. Okay, this one's not right for you. Tell me what you're looking for. So it's just a very simple conversation. Are you looking only in this suburb, or are you looking in neighbouring suburbs? What's your budget? What's your price range? So I'm going to get into the details of that script in a minute, but essentially there are 5 opportunities on every call. It's not just open inspection calls. There's actually 5 opportunities every time you make a cold call. There's 5 opportunities every time you talk to a person in the community around real estate. Does anybody want to have, some of you have heard me do this content before, but does anyone want to have a stab at what those opportunities are every time you're talking to a person out in the world? Geodata from Ned, bingo, that's one of the opportunities. Does anyone have anything else? You can unmute, you can talk, you don't have to chat. What are the other opportunities on these open callbacks, or in fact, any call? So Tiana, loan market referrals, bang, she's straight in there. Generated a few loan market referrals last week. Rental opportunities, Rachel, absolutely. Are they an investor? A property management referral? Anyone got anything else? So we've got 3 so far. An appraisal.
Where they are in the real estate cycle, if they've got a home to sell.
Yeah, perfect, Fiona. So an appraisal. So I'm going to put appraisal and listing in the one bucket, and where they are in the buying cycle. So they could also be a buyer, right? They could be a buyer. They could go into a buyer database. So there's other things that we could do with these people, but essentially those are the parts of the business that we can put them into. That's what I want you to think about. If you don't come away with amazing dialogue today, I'm actually okay with that. But if you come away with this anchor in your brain of, have I talked about these 5 opportunities with every person, your real estate business will grow. Okay, so this is what we need to start thinking about. And open inspection callbacks, there is more opportunity on these calls than anywhere else. New data from Ray, that's absolutely, I hope I said that correctly. That's absolutely bang on. Okay. So we're going to go straight into the buyer. So remember I said we've got to follow this order. We've got to find out if they want to buy the home, and then we've got to talk to them as a buyer. So as I said, very, very straightforward dialogue. Tell me what you're looking for. Are you looking for an investment or a home? That can be, that might come out earlier in the conversation. If it doesn't come out, we can get to that later in the conversation when we're looking for property management opportunities. But looking for an investment or a home, that'll take you down a particular path. So taking down notes, tell me which suburbs you're looking in, what's your block size, your land size, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, car spaces, do you have any additional needs? Do you need a pool? Do you need a study? Does it need to be in a particular school zone? Do you need a transport route? Are you looking to stay away from a certain side of the highway? And what's your budget or your price range? Really simple, straightforward. We probably don't even need to train on that information. That's follow your nose. So some of them will be hesitant to provide you. So, and you will have already had this experience, those of you who are making open callbacks. Some people will be like, no, the house isn't right for me. It's all right. I've got the alerts on realestate.com. Thanks anyway. And they just want to get you off the phone. Has anybody had that experience where the buyer just doesn't want to engage? Yep, Kate, you've had that. Anyone else? Okay. Yep, Adrian's had that. Saw your hand there. Thank you very much. So for those that are being a little bit cagey, we can dangle the off-market opportunity as the thing to engage them. So, you know, can we have your email address to keep you updated with any VIP off-market opportunities? And in this market, when buyers are missing out, they're more keen to be put on those VIP lists. Is anybody using this dialogue at the moment? Yeah, Rachel, do you want to just give us a little, do you want to come off mute and give us a little example of how you engage cagey buyers?
Yeah, usually with the off-market pitch or VIP, just giving them an example, even if it's not my property, of another property in our office that if I have your text message and email, I can shoot you a text when I have an off-market opportunity come up and get you through the property before I even launch it online, and you get those alerts. Generally speaking, at the moment, like you said, right, buyers are very receptive to be giving a hand because they know how hard it is, especially if you're telling them, you know, it's already under contract or it's, you know, it's going to be sold at the first open home. Let me give you an opportunity before the first open home. What's your email? What's your phone number? And yeah, 99% of people are willing to provide you with that information if it's going to benefit them.
Excellent. That's great. Thank you, Rachel. Does anyone do anything different to that to engage the cagey buyers who don't want to give you their information? Okay, so some of the people that you're working with, I've got a chat here, kick them out. That was perfect timing because I was going to talk about cynical people who've been in the industry for a long time. So I will go out to some offices that have been in our network for a really long time, and they will say things like, I'm going to swear, fuck the buyers, right? We don't care about the buyers don't pay us, the vendor pays us. I'm not working for the fucking buyer, they can get fucked. Sorry, that was me channeling Mark McLeod just then. So basically, is that the right attitude to have? Is that how we want to talk to buyers? I mean, it's true. They're not paying our wage. Well, they kind of are, right? You from Ned. That is what not to do, because it's a very short-term view, right? These people might be just buyers today. They might live in a rental property. They might not have a house to sell. But what are they going to be in 6 or 12 months' time? Yes, Tiana, they're going to be a homeowner in your core market, hopefully, or nearby. So take the long-term view, engage with these people. When you've been doing cold prospecting, knocking on doors and calling people who haven't asked you to do it, it's actually really refreshing to start to deal with buyers because they do want to talk to you. Yes, Peter, they could be a prospective vendor down the track, and it doesn't take very long. You know, Adrian, I know I've called you out on this before because your buyer management is really good, and you've created some really long-lasting relationships with your buyers. And you start to hear things like, no other agent does this. Like, you call me all the time and no one else does it. So it gives you a point of difference. You can engage with people who want to talk to you, and they will become geodata and they will become future sellers. Okay, it might not be for a couple of years, but it's still worth building that relationship now while you can. I think you need to apply some priorities to where you spend your time, but don't be rude, don't be dismissive, engage with these people, take down the information that they're giving you, put it into Vault in the buyer requirements, or some people like to run a separate spreadsheet to keep this really slick and tight and very accurate for driven traffic. It's up to you. But listen, you know, I've heard, the reason I'm saying that is because I've had people do telemarketing role play with me, and it's so obvious that they're just hanging to find out if I own a home. They barely ask me what I'm looking for, and I can tell that they're just not noting it down. And you can feel when someone doesn't care. So if you want to get back from someone something, really care at this point. Really care about what they need. Because if you can show that you care about what they need, they'll open up to you. Okay, so we're cool on the buyer service. So let me understand what you're looking for. Give me all your information so I can keep you updated. I'm going to tell you about any off-market opportunities. We're going to tell you when we first list a property. We'll try and get you through first. We'll keep you updated so we can help you buy a home. It's good practice. Okay, so that's step number one. Is this person a buyer? They might not be a buyer of this house I'm selling today, but they might be a buyer of a home down the track, and I'm going to need it. Let me tell you, when the market turns, that some of you who've worked in tougher markets, you're going to need these lists of buyers because you're going to need to move them around properties to get them sold. So the next one, we talked about geodata, we talked about appraisal, which can then become a listing. Now, sometimes this will come out in conversation. Sometimes people will volunteer, oh yeah, we do actually need to sell our home first. Not that often. They're usually quite cagey about that information. But sometimes it will come out. But if it doesn't, you need to ask the question. Now, there's lots of different ways of asking this. I quite like the approach some people take. That's the piece of dialogue number 3, which is, are you currently renting? So there's someone who works in our network. When he's standing at the open inspection, as people walk up to him at the home and he's taking the information in Home Pass, can I get your mobile phone, first name, last name, and are you currently renting in the area? So that's the question he asks. He doesn't say, are you renting or owning? He says, are you currently renting? And the reason he says it in that way is because he finds it's a catch-all situation. We often we have a bias to people who have a home to sell, and we devalue renters. So sometimes you go, are you owning in the area, or are you renting? Are you renting, or do you own? And we're really just looking for you to tell me that you own. So if you say, are you currently renting in the area? Yes, we are. That's fantastic. Immediately that tells me I can apply that person to a loan market referral. That's fantastic. How exciting. Have you got your finance all ready to go? That's where my brain's going to go immediately. I'm also not going to make an assumption that they don't own a property elsewhere. Just because they're renting at the moment doesn't mean they don't own property somewhere else. They might own property in another suburb, another part of the state, or another part of the country, and they're renting where they are because it works for them for various reasons. So don't make that assumption. Are you currently renting? That's a yes/no answer. If the answer is no, you're already down the track to understanding they are a homeowner. Great, I can follow up on that lead. So that's one way of approaching it. You can be more formal when you find your next home, or you need to sell another property to facilitate this purchase. That language might suit you. When you find your next home, will you be keeping your current home or selling it? Will you be keeping your current home as a rental or selling it? So whichever line is right for you, I'd recommend listen to the guys in your office, practice a few different pieces of dialogue, work out what's right for you, but you need to approach this question. Once you understand that they do own a property, you then need to make the appraisal offer. I'll be happy to provide you with an update in the current market value. Is Tuesday or Thursday best? What do you say when they say, I've already had an appraisal from someone else? How could you come back on that one?
Do you want a second opinion?
Great, I like it. Second opinion from Peter. Does anyone say anything else? Third opinion's okay as well. You probably don't want to talk just to one agent. You want to get a really good feel for all of your options. I'd be really happy to come and give you a second opinion, another pair of eyes and ears on your property. Did you
get the price you're expecting?
Yeah, I really like that. Did you get the price you're expecting? How long ago was it done from Peter? Because market appraisals are only valid for about 4 days in the current market. The market's moving so fast. Has anyone got any other dialogue that they use for the appraisal offer? Okay. Oh,
I try and tie it back that you might have more value in your home than you think.
that's great, Fiona. I like that.
Yeah. That way, you know, you might be able to even keep this and purchase a second one and get that going. And then you obviously slip in known market as well after that.
Absolutely. That's really good. Thank you, Fiona. So if you're successful in them accepting you on your appraisal offer, you just go ahead to book it. Okay, so you make sure you take all their details. I would probably recommend that you have a look at the call out content. Has anybody seen the call out content on the National Sales? Bailey, I'm sure you've seen it. Call out is when you basically do the interview of when you're booking an appraisal. So the call out is making sure that you get as much information from them as you possibly can. So you need to start it by saying, I need to ask you a few questions just to make sure we're ready for the appraisal. Is now a good time? And then you go into an interview. If you want that content, just let me know after. It's fantastic because it helps you uncover their price expectations. If you're not going to get the appraisal at this point in time, now let's be realistic, you're probably going to get a lot of no's. That's okay. We need to recover with opting for the geodata. So remembering the geodata script. So I've used the Ray White Now as the example. That's fantastic. We've got this wonderful report. It's exclusive to Ray White about detailing the strong market conditions. Can I get this one to you by post or email? Sometimes agents will find, depending on the way you approach it, go for the appraisal offer first. People say no. And then when you say, that's okay, let me get you this report, people feel sorry for you, so they give you the report. Some people lead with market review first and build up to appraisal. There's nothing wrong with either, but that's the approach we're going with here. We've offered the appraisal. They've said no. That's perfectly fine. Look, what I'll do for you today, Kate, I've got this wonderful Ray White Now report. It's all about what's happening in the current market, detailing the Ray White exclusive information. Can I get that one to you by post or email? Oh, sure, you can email that. Bang, then I go for the full geodata. Okay, so at that point we would ask first name, last name, current residential address, best email contact. So in the worst case scenario, we're going to be getting geodata. I'm going to be pretty real with you here, guys. If you were working in my office and you were doing open inspection callbacks, I would have pretty high expectations around you uncovering geodata. Okay? If there's someone who's a homeowner in your general patch, I would be wanting you to uncover that information and get hold of that information. These phone calls are really high value. There is a lot of business to be leveraged from them. So this is one piece of dialogue that you really need to get good at. Okay? Obviously, we know listings produce listings, so the appraisal is part of it, but the first part of getting the geodata is definitely something that you should be really focusing on, improving your skills around asking these questions all the time. Which takes us on to loan market, which is what Fiona just said a moment ago, perfectly. So loan market, obviously they're our mortgage broking company. Does anyone not know who loan market are? Okay, great. We're all on the same page. So what I would recommend, what will help you get better at talking about things like loan market and property management is actually sitting down and having a conversation. So I know in the Gawler office there, you've got Nathan and his team. And so if you can just have a regular catch up with the guys from the loan market desk and say, you know, who's got the best rate at the moment? Who's got the best variable, the best fixed rate? Who's turning loans around quickest? We actually had a compliance session in here today, and that's quite interesting. They're sort of saying standard MO for the banks at the moment is 4+4, and it doesn't look like changing anytime soon. If you're going with CBA, it's going to take something like 50 days to get an approval. So it's really valuable for you to understand this information, because when people start presenting loan conditions, if they say we're with the CBA, you might say, are you aware of how long they're taking for approvals? Can we get you to have a chat to a broker to see if there's a better option? We might be able to get this turned around quicker for you. 30-day auction settlements are very, very difficult to fulfill at the moment. So very similar to the appraisal offer, sometimes this information will have come out. You know, some people will be very open with what they want to talk to you about because they're really keen to buy a home. They might talk to you about the fact, like, we've just got our finance approved, so we're really ready to go now. That might come out organically. Or some people might say, look, we've really just started. We haven't even spoken to the bank yet. They might offer that type of information. You need to be listening for the clues all the time. So if someone says to me, it's all right, Kim, I've already got my finance sorted. You're all right, thanks, mate. What could you say to that? What questions or what follow-up dialogue could you use in that scenario?
You could say, like, oh, that's great. I'm glad that you've got that sorted. Can I ask what conditions you'll be putting down on a contract when you make an offer in terms of your days for finance?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that, because you're getting into the detail of it. What else could you ask them whether or not they've just gone directly to their bank, or if they've gone to a broker as well?
We spoke about this, Shayla, Scotty and I this morning. Have you gone to a bank or a broker? And also suggest we can actually go straight to the dialogue of, we can get our in-house broker to give you a call and make sure you've been locked into the most competitive rates on the market, as a suggestion. So
yeah, that's great. And look, often people just want to move you on, and they want to get past whatever it is that they feel you're trying to sell them, or if they're not interested in the home, they want to get off the call. So you've got to really engage them with the whole, you know, what's in it for me? Like, why do I want to do this? And the reality is, I've got a slide here. I'll come back to this dialogue. There's huge variation between what one bank will lend one borrower and what another will, depending on their risk profile. So, you know, you might find in this example here, it's got 6 banks on the screen. You know, CBA at this point in time may have opened up a certain tranche of lending because they want to increase their book. And so they're lowering the risk profile on certain candidates, which is why this particular family, Westpac will only give them 897,000 and Westpac will give them 1.27. So it's really important for you to start to pose those types of ideas and concepts. You know, someone might say, we've got up to 500,000. That's our limit. That's our upper limit. We've spoken to the bank. Okay. If you speak to an independent broker, they might actually be able to unlock another $50,000 for you. So they all have different criteria. So what's in it for the buyer? Why would they want to talk to the person you're referring to them? They've already got a relationship. They've already sorted that out. They might save them money and they might increase their borrowing capacity. Those are the two sort of real key buttons that you can press. You've got to be really careful because you're not licensed to talk about lending criteria, but you can just say, hey, look, I was having a chat with Anthony this morning. He mentioned that Westpac have actually just dropped their variable rate. They're now the cheapest in the market. Have you seen that rate? There's a lot of real competition for customers at the moment. Why don't you have a chat? It's completely free. I'll get Anthony to give you a call. It'll just take 15 minutes. So I like Tiana's script, but the point is you definitely need to be talking about it. So I'll just skip back to that dialogue slide. I've got my screens all mixed up. So are you looking to make an unconditional? Would you need to include a finance clause to facilitate the purchase? Have you spoken directly with your bank or have you spoken to an independent mortgage broker? If you haven't spoken to a broker, just as Tiana suggested, we'll get our loan market broker to reach out and make a time for a no obligation chat. You always have to get the permission for the broker to call them. If you give them the broker's number, they're not going to call the broker. So you get the permission for your broker to give them a call. So yeah, get some collateral. You might want to use something like this. Have a chat to your broker. Can you just give me an update? Who's got the best rate? What's the difference? What does that mean? You know, over $1 million loan, what's the difference in repayments each year? Have just a little bit of information that you can drip feed into the conversation, and you'll make it easier for yourself to open up that conversation. I often find what happens is when people don't get good results, it's mostly because they're not asking the question at all. It's not because their dialogue is poor, it's because people don't broach it. So what I want you to do today is just think about asking these questions on more and more of your phone calls. We then go into property management. So again, it may have already come up. They may have said, actually, this is an investment for us. So you might already know that they're looking to pick up an investment property or their second investment property. But if they haven't, let's just say they've said, look, we're looking for a family home. You know, this is our dream suburb. We've already sold our home. We've got our finance sorted. We're ready to go. And you've got all the information. You might think, okay, we're all done and dusted. There's nothing more in this conversation. Hey, just before I let you go there, Michael, is property investment something of interest to you? It's a really nice question to ask. Is it of interest to you? No, it's not. Okay, so you don't have any investment properties? No. And you're not looking at getting anytime soon? No. Fair enough. Look, just wanted to make sure we covered all the bases. Is it of interest to you? That can open up a lot of yeses. Yeah, it is of interest to me, but I'm not ready there right yet. Yes, it is of interest to me. I've got an investment property. Or yes, this is going to be an investment purchase. Or as soon as we bought the family home, we're actually looking at getting an investment straight away. Or we've got another property we're going to keep as an investment. What's beautiful about property management is that it opens up every other opportunity. So it opens up geodata, it opens up sales appraisal, it opens up loan market referrals, because if they own other properties, it's likely that they have finance on them. So, hey, you know, Bailey, you mentioned you've got 3 properties, including your home. When's the last time you got an update on those home loans? There could be some significant savings in there. And you think about that. If you save someone $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year on mortgage repayments, they're going to remember you. They're going to like you. Maybe they can then go and use that money to go and buy another investment property. We've got a campaign starting. It's a Love Your Landlord campaign, and it's going to be announced with the Real Estate of Origin that's coming up in a few weeks, where we're going to be giving an opportunity for you to refer investors straight to a portal where they can just go and do a home loan health check. And there's some really nice marketing slides that back it up, where there's real testimonials from customers saying, you know, Peter Singh called me and offered me this update, and I've now saved $30,000 on my annual repayments. I'm so happy. So there is real value that you can add to people by the questions that you ask. But property management, property investment questions, it was a real eye-opener for me when I started my career. And it's natural because you can only take so much information at a time, and we often see this with new starters. So I was really great at getting geodata in the beginning, but I wasn't very good at getting appraisals. And then I got better at offering appraisals, and I started to get listings. And then when I had listings, I started offering loan market because I was meeting buyers. But one blind spot that I had, and I'd never been taught it, was to ask the property investment question. And I had a database of like 900 homeowners in my core market, and I'd never asked any of them if property investment was of interest to them. And then I suddenly had this, like, I was listening to a new rookie in the office where I was working who was asking property investment question, and I was just like, someone had struck me over the head with a hammer. Like, why have you not been asking this question? And then I realized I'd been speaking to all these people who had multiple other properties that I knew nothing about. And they didn't think to talk to me about it because they only associated me with this one pocket of Adelaide, this one particular geographic area. So I started to then look like I was more professional because I was talking to them about their investment strategies and their plans for investment properties. And I opened up more opportunities for myself and my business. And it's really nice, just that little question is, before I let you go there, Fiona, is property investment of interest to you? It can open up a wealth of opportunity. If they do own properties, but obviously want to look to get them into our business's property management rent roll. Are you managing it yourself? Are you happy with the current service you're getting from your property management? Same as the loan market offer. Can I have Jasmine, who's our investment specialist, just reach out to you and she can let you know if you've got the best service that you can possibly be getting there. So those are the 5 opportunities, and I've done an awful lot of talking. I'd really love for someone to have a go at doing a role play. Who wants to be an agent? I'm still here, I'm just plugging my charger in. And who would like to be, I'll be the buyer, who would like to be an agent?
I'll nominate Shayla.
You evil woman, Tiana.
It's a perfect opportunity to have something on her,
Okay. So I am leaving the 5 opportunities on the screen for you, Shayla. Now,
Okay.
dialogue doesn't need to be perfect, and you don't need to worry about doing the vendor report conversation, okay? So we've already chatted. I don't want to buy the house that you've called me about. So we're moving on from that point.
Okay. I don't know where to start. Okay, so you don't want to buy the property that I've called you about. I would probably start with, oh God.
You don't need to guess, because remember we spoke about you have to find out what I'm looking for first. You have to give a shit about what I'm looking for, okay? You have to really make me think that you care. You're going to help me.
All right, I would probably say to you, like, that's no worries that you're not interested. Is there any chance I can grab your email address to update your buyer requirements into our system? Having your email address will then give us access to send you through links to properties that come to market. I feel like...
Okay, we're actually doing a role play here, Shayla, so don't tell me what you'd say, just say it to me. Yeah, okay, Shayla, you can have my email address, that's fine. It's bdenim@gmail.com.
Perfect, thank you. And can I just ask you a few questions about what you're exactly looking for? How many bedrooms and bathrooms are you currently looking for?
We want 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms.
And is there a particular land size?
We'd like a pretty big block, actually. We would, yeah, like somewhere to kick a ball around if we can.
Perfect. So you're looking to build a property yourself or on the current land, or are you wanting to buy?
We'd rather get something that we can just move into, yeah, ready to go. We don't want to build.
Perfect. Excellent. And is there any particular suburbs you're currently looking in?
Yeah, so all through the Holdfast council area is good for us.
Excellent. Do you know your current borrowing capacity?
We think we can go up to about $1.2 million.
Okay, so when you say you think, have you spoken to someone recently in regards to this?
We had a quick chat to our bank. We've been with our bank for 15 years, so we just gave them a call and they said based on, you know, what we've got left on our mortgage and blah, 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 about 1.2.
Perfect, excellent. So it sounds like you have had a little bit of a chat with them, but you're not 100% sure on your complete borrowing capacity. So from here, we do have an in-house broker, Joey, that we could refer you on to. He deals with a lot of our clients. It's really just an informal chat to start with. He just sort of liaises with you to see where you're at, what you're looking for. And then from there, if you are interested, you can go to the second part of that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, does it cost anything?
No, so no, it's a free, no obligation to chat with him.
Right, and what bank's he from?
He's actually a mortgage broker through Loan Market. So he deals with several banks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. He can give me a call. That's fine.
Excellent, perfect. So I will pass your details on to him. So are you looking to sell anything before you buy at the moment, Bianca?
Maybe. If we find something that's over our budget, we might have to sell it, but we'd like to keep our current property.
Okay, so that would be selling your family home or an investment property?
It is our family home, but we're looking to turn it into an investment if we can, but we know that we might have to sell it. If we see something that's like 1.5 and we fall in love with it, we'll just have to sell this place.
Okay, and do you know what your place at the moment might be worth?
I think it's probably worth about 650, but that's just a real guess.
Okay, so when was the last time you had a price update completed on the property?
We got a bank valuation done 3 years ago when we did some renovations. Nothing since then. The council rates say 625. So I think they're probably
so definitely your council rates and a bank valuation are completely different to where it might sit in the market at the moment. We have noticed that the market is booming at the moment, as you might know, so bank vals can come in a little bit under or well, not in line where it might be in the market. So I would suggest us coming out to have a chat with you about where it might be sitting.
Okay, what does that involve?
So it's really just a 30-minute chat where we come out to the property. It's free, no obligation once again. Just come out, have a chat with you about the property, what you want to do before sale, and just to see, yeah, what the price might be. We will show you some comparables as well around the listing. So places that have recently sold in your area, what they've sold for, and we'll just explain some case studies of successful sales.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, could you come out on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. We do have most of Saturday afternoon free. Is there a particular time that suits you?
2:30.
Perfect, excellent. I'll give you a call on Friday to confirm your appointment on Saturday.
Great, thanks.
Perfect. Can I please grab your address and just a few details on the property?
Yes, it's 1 Smith Street, Anytown, and it's blah, 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 blah.
Thanks.
Well done, Shayla.
That was so clunky.
No, hey, like nothing like being thrown in the spot by your mate there. In front of a bunch of people that you don't know. Well done, very good. There's some really good points in there. You know, you segued really quite seamlessly from one opportunity to the other. The only thing I would pick up on is I would have taken what I was looking for before asking for my email. I would have found out like what are you looking for in a home first, then go for the email. And then I'd already mentioned that we were looking at maybe renting. There's an opportunity there for you to say, hey, look, when we come out and do the sales appraisal, we can get our investment specialist along who can give you an idea about what your weekly rental would be. Have you had someone do that for you? Because if you are going to hold it as an investment property, the bank needs a rental appraisal. The bank needs to know that rental income. It's all part of the package. So that's a really easy stitch up there. So then you know you're giving this person great service. You're locking them into your You know, you've got the holy trinity there, because you've got the loan market broker, the property manager, and the sales agent just surrounding this person, making them very, very sticky. So really well done. But I just think you could have said, hey, look, while we're coming out, you're thinking about keeping it as an investment. Why don't I get the property manager along? I'll bring out Naz, and we can see if we can help you understand everything that you would need to think about if you are going to keep it as an investment property. Because that was my primary objective, right? My primary objective was to keep it. So play to that. That's what the client wants. But really good, Shayla. I'd love to throw some other people in the spot. We've got 5 minutes left. Does anybody else want to have a go? Because the more you hear other people do it, you'll pick things up.
Can I just say something, Bianca? One of the things with the property management, especially in Victoria, if you mentioned about the new legislation and getting their home checked out to see what they would need to do and if it's actually worth renting, or maybe selling that one and buying something different that actually is a bit more compliant, can often lead to two sales instead.
I love that. I love taking the boring legislation and turning it into an opportunity. That's gold, Fiona. Does anybody else want to have a go at just doing a quick open inspection callback?
Can we nominate Bailey?
Big Baz, you're up. Look at him. He's pretending to be modest, but he's actually loving this. Let's go, Bailey. Need to unmute.
I was actually going to nominate Adrian. No, you're good.
Okay, same scenario. I don't want to buy your house. Take it from there.
Hi, Bianca. This is Bailey Truscott from Raywhite in Gawler. How are you today?
I'm great, Bailey. How are you?
Good, thank you. The reason for my call, we met at 12 Edith Street in Gawler East on Saturday. Just seeing if you had any further questions or any interest in that home at all.
No, that one's not right for us.
No, that's okay. Was there any reason in particular?
To be honest, we just saw the open board. We are looking, and we're just kind of looking at everything. So it's just way too small. It's not what we're looking for at all. We just thought we'd stop by as we had 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and how long have you been looking for now?
We've just started really. So just a couple of weeks, starting to get a bit of a feel for things.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no problems at all. Would you like me to keep an eye out for you and keep you up to date with any properties that might be worth a look that are coming up?
Yeah, that'd be handy actually. Thanks, Bailey.
Yeah, okay. Yep. And you mentioned that property was too small. What sort of, property are you looking for? Are you looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom?
That's exactly probably what everyone else is looking for, right? Double garage, swimming pool.
Yeah. Side access?
Fully renovated, Bailey. Have you got a few of those hanging around?
We might have a few coming up. We actually sold one off market last week, so it would have actually been good if I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately that one has sold. Yeah, I can definitely keep an eye out for you, Bianca.
What did that one sell for?
That one there on 13 Edith Street actually sold for $525.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, was that within your budget?
Yeah, we can go up to 6 actually for the right home.
To 6. And you're looking in Gawler East, obviously. Is there any other areas that you're looking in at the moment?
Yeah, we'd go out from there as well, to be honest. So we're thinking, do we stay near the amenities or do we go a bit further out to get a bit bigger block?
Bit bigger block. Yeah, no problems at all. What sort of block size are you looking for?
As big as we can get. With everything else, we want it all, Bailey. I said. Why it's so hard to find?
No, so 1,000 square meters, or you're looking?
That'd be good. Yeah.
Because I know acreage is really hard to come by at the moment.
1,000 square meters would be enough, but if there is, as I said, if there's an opportunity out of town that's on a bit more, we'd definitely look at it.
Yeah, no problems at all. Well, I'll add you into our VIP buyers database for you. That way, I don't have to tell you about properties we've sold and you've missed out on, and I can actually let you know before they hit the market.
Yes, please.
This was obviously your best contact number, Bianca?
Yes.
Yeah, and what was your best email address?
bdenham@gmail.com.
Bdenham, no problems. And your current postal address?
What do you need that for?
What I need that for, just for when our vendors are asking us where these buyers are coming from, just to give them a bit of an idea, we can let them know what suburb you're from.
Oh, we're in Evanston Gardens at the moment. Is it okay if I just give you the suburb?
Yeah, no problems at all. That's fine. No worries. I'll get that down. And what sort of time frame are you looking to purchase a property?
As soon as we can, but there's no other pressing factors. We're just really ready to move up to the next house.
Yeah, and if you found your dream home, were you ready to go, or did you need to sell, or did you need to get finance organised?
We're just getting our tax done, and then we should have our finance ready, but we don't need to sell anything.
Okay, awesome. No problems at all. All right. And is there anything else with this home that is a must-have?
No, it's mostly about the size and the bedrooms, and ideally not needing to renovate.
No, no problems at all. And are you interested in property investment at all?
Yes, yeah, because we're probably going to keep our current property as an investment. So yeah, we are actually.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you like, I can pass on Kylie's details. She's our property manager. She can have a chat to you about your options moving forward, and she might be able to give you a really good insight into renting your current property out if you like.
That'd be helpful actually, Bailey. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Just so I can give her the right information, is it all right if I grab your address?
Yeah, okay, that probably would be helpful. Yep, it's 21 Smith Street.
No worries. I'll pass your details on to her. She can give you a call about property management and yeah, hopefully point you in the right direction.
That's great. Thanks, Bailey.
No problems at all. Thanks for your time, and hopefully we can help you find your dream home for you, and you have to keep looking anymore. No more opens.
Thanks very much. That'd be good.
No problems at all. Thanks a lot.
Well done, Bailey. Good one. Someone needs to throw it back on Tiana next time.
I'll next nominate Tiana.
Sadly, we're 2 minutes over now. No, really well done. Obviously, that finance thing threw you a little bit. You probably could have had another stab at me there, but very, very well done. You've done that a few times before. So with everything, guys, practice makes perfect. I've got this last slide here. I just want you to stick that up somewhere, or some form that reminds you to ask all of the questions as often as you can. People make the mistake of rushing open inspection calls, especially in this market when sometimes you're seeing 100 people at the weekend. Sometimes you're seeing 80 people at one property, sometimes more. I know you're all coming in from different parts of the world, but don't rush them. There's money to be had there. It's what, both Bailey and Shayla didn't make me feel like they were rushing me on. They made me feel that they had time for me and they really cared. And I think that there's a lot to be said for that. So practice. I can share the slide deck with you if you would like. And any questions, touch base. But thanks so much for joining, guys, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. We're going to start to get onto overcoming objections at the listing table. It's getting meaty. Have a great afternoon. See you guys.